What up, everybody? Sam in the building, chilling. I want to make this video fast as possible. Wanted to see if I could get this video done within like maybe 15 minutes or so. But this topic, it's been on my mind for a while because I'm a big fan of the zombie genre. Been a zombie fan since I was born. I'm in my mid 30s now. I grew up on all of the George Romero flicks. Tons of other various zombie movies like 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, City of the Dead, Zombie Holocaust, The Beyond. I mean, I can go on and on and on as far as like zombie movies. But with The Walking Dead, it's been a different type of ride for me, and I wanted to kind of express how I view The Walking Dead because don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of it, and the reason why I'm a fan is because I'm a fan of the whole zombie culture, and I want to break down the reason why I love the zombie culture so much, and the reason why is because you're dealing with a world where there's basically no laws. It's not based on your education anymore. It's just based off of your means of survival. So where in this life you can be a doctor, or in Rick's case, you can be a police officer, but in the zombie apocalypse, it doesn't matter anymore. So, you can have somebody like, I don't know, like Michonne, for instance, who was a lawyer in her previous time. And you would think that now in the zombie apocalypse that Michonne would be someone who was dependent on help. But you can obviously see that she doesn't. She doesn't need any help. She's dependent on herself. She can live on her own without any problems during the zombie apocalypse. But it isn't the case with a lot of the black men on this particular series, and that's why I kind of stopped. I watch it just based off of the life, but I don't really support it anymore as far as like buying any of the merchandise. I bought season 1 through, I want to say season 4, because my girl actually bought me season 5 and 6. Actually, yeah, she did. But yeah, I stopped buying it, and when I walked in the store, even before I got season 6, yeah, I walked in the store and I was like, I was looking at it for a while, just looking at the case, and said, man, no, I can't buy it, and I just walked out because it just feels like they make it their business to make a lot of the black men look weak on the show. And I know, it's Robert Kirkman's baby, and he could, do whatever he wants. It's his baby, it's his show, it's his comic book, and he'd be absolutely correct about that. But I just don't appreciate the blatant disrespect, because then it makes me think that maybe the writers don't know any black men, or they're just making it their business to make them look emasculate and crippled. So just reading through the lines, it just made me back off as far as purchasing any other merchandise. And I had a lot of stuff. I mean, I had action figures and things like that. Every zombie flick that I have a whole shelf of them, and just looking over there now, I have stuff going back even to the 60s. I have the old 1960, I believe it's 1968 version of Night of the Living Dead, looking dead at it, and right next to that, I have the 1990s version of Night of the Living Dead, the DVD. Let's start off with those. I mean, George Romero, I've always been a big fan of everything that he's put out. Everything. And one thing about George Romero, he's always made the black men on his shows the survivors, the ones who came up with the critical decisions, or the ones who made the final approval on the decisions. Not saying that black men should rule on The Walking Dead. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying stop making every character look weak. Every black character, every black man. Stop making them look weak, because on season 1 of The Walking Dead, yeah, Jackie, when I immediately saw Jackie on that, I said, wow, okay, yeah. She's very, very sharp. She's very alert. Sasha as well. Very sharp, very alert, especially on season 3. Michonne, she's a survivor, she's kick-ass, right? But let's go back to Night of the Living Dead in 1968. I mean, Ben's character, both versions, he got shot at the end, boom, another one for the fire, and they killed him off. But he survived through everything. He didn't get bit. Even on, what's another one George Romero did? He did Dawn of the Dead. He did one back in like the late 70s. I have both versions. Like the old school version has about 5 CDs. European version, US version, extended version. It has all of that. But the first version, the original version of Dawn of the Dead, when they were in the mall, the primary character on there, the main character, actually, I don't even think that Ken Foree was the main character, but here we are. The black man made the way. He said, okay, well, this is what we need to do to survive. He never got bit. Made it on that helicopter, got to the roof. It was just him and the white girl. He basically saved the white girl on there. And then you have, and same thing with Night of the Living Dead as well. It was the black man who rescued the white girl, right? So then you have the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Same thing with Ben Rames' character. Ben Rames' character played a cop, made it all the way through, came up with the strongest decisions. He was the better critical thinker out of all of them. And even with Mekhi Phifer, I mean, he wasn't the smartest one out of the group, but he did not get bit. He got shot at the end, or towards the middle maybe, but he didn't get bit. A lot of the black women in all of the zombie movies, I haven't really seen too many black women with a weak mind. Even on 28, I think it takes 21 days later. I have both of them. 28 days later, I believe it was, with the black woman on there. I mean, she was very, very, very alert. Even the newer version of Day of the Dead that came out with Nick Cannon, he was very, very alert. And, I mean, he got bit, but this is a new day and age. And it was a well-balanced movie. I have Zombie Apocalypse, Diary of the Dead. I have a lot of stuff over there, Survival of the Dead. But with The Walking Dead, the black men on there, and I'm just going off of the top of my head with that. We have Lenny James's character, Morgan Jones, and from the beginning I actually thought, okay, well, yeah, this is gonna be great. He knows what's going on. He has a son with him, but first thing I noticed with him was he was weak-minded. He couldn't shoot his wife, which ultimately got his son killed. And then we seen him in season 3 again, and in season 3 he goes through some type of mental breakdown. And even now, in season 7, he's not right. Carol doesn't trust him. He doesn't want to kill. In a world where it's kill to be killed, he doesn't want to kill. It's just stupid. It's just crazy all over the place. He's supposed to be a monster out there. I mean, he's supposed to, lay it down when it comes down to, people like Negan and the survivors. You can't be on this passive shit. I'm still on season 1 actually. There's Morgan, he skipped a few years, but then you have T-Dog, which he was played by Iron Singleton. T-Dog came in, I believe it was the first couple of episodes that we saw. T-Dog immediately gets beat up by Merle, who was obviously being a jackass, but he immediately gets beat up by Merle, and you have these women like, oh, it's gonna be all right, T-Dog, oh. And he didn't lay a punch on Merle, not at all. Like Merle made it a point to disrespect him. So then you go to the fact that he's clumsy. He dropped the key down the building shaft. It's like a gutter or something. It fell down, and I mean he didn't really do too much. He wasn't too much of a threat on there. I mean, as big as he was, same thing with Tyrese, same exact thing. Too afraid to kill the zombies. Didn't want to see the zombies in their face. He wants to take and hang out with Karen. He wants to be with Karen. And his mind wasn't all the way together. Sasha had more heart than he did. You know? And this is just what I see on the show. He was just too emotional. His heart was bigger than his brain. Weak-minded. Bob as well. Bob came in. He was a drunk. Daryl made it the point that, hey, if I ever catch you drinking again, you're gonna regret it. He didn't stand up for himself. You know, I think he was a combat medic, but he was still weak-minded. As far as survival tactics are concerned, he was weak-minded. Sasha had more survival skills than him, even as a medic. He was weak-minded. I mean, Chaz Coleman's character wasn't any different than T-Dog's character. You know, it was just two big guys who just had a bigger heart than a bigger brain. And, you know, Lawrence Gillard's character as well. It wasn't too big of a difference. I remember watching Lawrence Gillard on Straight Outta Brooklyn. This was like a while back when that movie first came out. Matter of fact, I might go and watch it again. Who else? Because Bob came in at what, season 4? Season 4. And then you have, I'm trying to think, who else? Because after Bob died, next black man that would have came in would have been Noah, who was another one that was crippled. Because Bob, you know, we got to remember, before he died, he got shot or grazed one time, and you know the girls helped him out with that. And then next thing you know, he got bit, and then he was, you know, that insult to injury, he was caught by the Terminus people, and then they cut off his leg because they were cannibals. And you know, here he is, yo, you guys are eating tainted meat. So he died crippled. And then you have Noah, who right off the back, he come in and he's crippled, and he's in a hospital ran by some wannabe cops. And I noticed this just right from the beginning. Here it is going to be the complete opposite. You know, Bet's going to save him, and she did. Bet ended up saving Noah. Noah got away and was able to run into Carol and Daryl, which eventually brought him to the rest of the gang. And by the time they made it back to the hospital, Beth was dead. So then Noah and Tyrese, you have two black men on there now, Noah and Tyrese, they, on the very, very next episode, after Beth dies, after that Tyrese dies, he got crippled Noah. You know, he came in the door crippled, but he ends up getting Tyrese killed because, you know, he's just too emotional. Went home, noticed that his family was killed, and you know, Tyrese is trying to tell him, hey, we got to take things slow, we got to calm down, and you know, stay together as a group and all of this. And then he ends up getting killed. And who do we have now? We have Ezekiel, who, another one. I mean, you call yourself the king, but you know, you're a subject of Negan's resources. You know, Negan's using you just as well as he's using Rick and everybody else. So what kind of king is that? You know, if you're the king, then you should have come up with some other type of solution. You're not getting anything in return from Negan, for giving Negan your resources or giving Negan these tainted pigs or whatever else you're giving Negan. So I mean, if Negan wanted to kill you and your people, he could have easily have done it. It sounds like he's already done it. But you're the king, and then you see how Carol shut him down. Carol, said, "Oh, this whole kingdom thing is a joke," and you're walking around with the tiger, and Carol doesn't even respect him. So I see all of this in Robert Kirkman's writing. So it just makes me think, man, this guy, man, either he's not used to being around black men, he doesn't know, or he's just straight up racist, man. So until I really get an answer, I just don't deal with it. I don't deal with it as far as purchasing anything. And Heath as well. And I've read the comic book, still out, and I won't give any spoiler alerts about Heath, but this is just in regards to the TV series because I know a lot of people don't read the comic book. But with Heath's character, there's another one. In comparison to Tara, it seems like Tara has more heart than he does, or any other woman that's on there. I mean, he might have a little heart over a couple of other non-black people on the show, but for the most part, I know for a fact because it happens all the time. Like in Robert Kirkman's material, the black man is either weak-minded or physically unable. So what's going to happen with him is he's going to eventually get crippled, like he does in the comic book. So they're all like crippled in some type of way. I mean, maybe that's why he made it the point to make Michonne walk around with her baby daddy and her baby daddy's friend. When we first saw Michonne had two zombies tied up to her. I'm speaking in reference to that. But we go back to like the George Romero flicks. Ken Foray on Dawn of the Dead. I mean, he made all of those decisions. Sure, you have jackasses in there, but like I say, if there's a good decision that's made by somebody else, you better believe if he says no, then that decision's not going to go through. And like I say, any type of black man nowadays in this life, you put them against a zombie apocalypse and see what happens. And I guarantee you won't see too many weak black men in that type of environment. So that's why I really don't feel the show and his depictions of black men on it. So, another thing about George Romero, he has another movie called Land of the Dead. And on Land of the Dead, there's survivors on there as well, but it's more about the zombies. He has one zombie. He's the smartest zombie out of all of them. His name is Big Daddy. And he leads the zombie pack, first of all. But he's just smart. He's the smartest one of them all. There was an incident where the survivors figured out, I know how we can get the chance to distract the zombies so we can go and raid the houses. We'll just shoot fireworks in the sky. And they shoot these fireworks in the sky, and the zombies, they're all looking up like, fireworks, And while they're doing this, the survivors can just walk right past them and go inside of the houses and get whatever they want. Well, Big Daddy, he figured this out. And he told one of the, he just nudged one of the zombies. It was a white girl. When she was looking up, and, he was like, don't do that, because it was getting them killed as a group of people. And that was genius, man. That was genius. I appreciate George Romero. You know what I'm saying? But I don't for Robert Kirkman, man. I do not. And I don't know if he's being controlled by AMC to do it, but And I'm just a little old guy, man. I'm not any big person out there. I don't have a voice like that. But I just think it just takes me. It takes one person. If I can just say this, and if it can get out to other people, and other people could just take the time to look at it and compare it to previous zombie movies, and just look at the characters on The Walking Dead, the black characters, the black men, and analyze it, and just leave your thoughts and comments to tell me if my opinion is valid. It's not really valid, but if my opinion makes sense is what I mean. You know, if it's like, wow, that's a great observation, because it is. I mean, Robert Kirkman, I don't know, man. Day of the Dead. I was just looking at one of my movies, because just about every zombie flick that George Romero made, there was a remake to it, and I have all of them. But the newer version of Day of the Dead, Nick Cannon was in there, and Nick Cannon, he got bit, which was not a problem. I mean, this is a new day and age. You know, black man can't be the hero all the time, but I'm sick and tired of the men on The Walking Dead just being so weak-minded and getting crippled. So let me hurry up and get on the other side of town. I decided to stay in and beat the rush hour traffic before I go to this conference meeting at 7 o'clock, which is in the next half an hour. Man, I even have Shaun of the Dead over there, man. I haven't seen that in a while, but yeah, man. Let me get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later on if I get back or something. I want to get me something to eat before I get to this conference. So y'all be cool. Sam Sim, and I'm out.